Hypothetically, what if I gave you the wrong answers to a test and then you used those and you failed? And then after that, what if I hypothetically laughed in your face for being a dumbass? G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee with a different camera angle today. Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, enjoy this episode of r/Am I the Asshole, chuck a prawn on the barbie, don't forget that one, and have a bloody good time. Thank you. Am I the asshole for giving my friend the wrong answers in an examination, resulting in her failing? Throwaway because my main has a lot of personal info, and even though I don't care if my friend sees this, I don't want some person who thinks I'm the a-hole, which I may be, to dox me or something. English is not my first language, so I apologize if I make any grammatical or spelling errors. So my friend Lucy, 18 female, and I, 17 female, have known each other since middle school. From a young age, Lucy has developed a habit of asking me for answers on test papers or assignments, and I always gave them to her but also made her understand the questions and answers. In junior year, I told Lucy that I would no longer help her cheat, since now our grades had an actual impact and consequence, but she always managed to convince me to help her, especially since we have been friends for so long. This is one of the reasons why I may be the a-hole, by the way, since I helped her kind of develop this habit of depending on me. She would always leave a few questions, and this basically ensured that the teacher wouldn't find out she was cheating, because at the end of the examination, our marks would be different, so the teacher wouldn't have any reason to doubt us. I get A's, and she writes enough to get B's. This is our last year in school, and at the start of this semester, I told her that this time I would definitely not help her. I told her that enough was enough, and that if she got into a good college with the marks she got by cheating, that would not be fair to someone who worked hard. She said she understood, and that was that, and in the first 2 major examinations she got C's, and I guess her parents were not happy. Lucy then begged me to help her again, and would constantly badger me every day by spamming my socials, or when we meet up with friends. I told her I no longer wanted to talk to her, but she would just not let things go, and even threatened to reveal some secrets that I had trusted her with when we were younger. So 2 weeks ago, when we had an examination and she asked me for answers, I gave her the wrong ones. She left some, and somehow got marks for that, but her overall grade was F. We got the results yesterday, and until that moment I thought I was justified in doing what I did to get her to stop harassing me. But when she got the result, she started sobbing, like full-on crying, and I felt so guilty. She later called me a lot of names and told me I crushed her dreams, and I feel so bad. But I know I did what I did so that she would stop with the cheating, so I'm confused. Am I the asshole? I'm gonna go with not the asshole for this one. I feel like, yeah, your actions screwed her over here, but it's the actions that a lot of people would do to people trying to cheat off of them. Maybe not particularly the nicest thing in the world to do, and continually brought up is that notion of, yeah, you might be right, but you're still an asshole. I don't believe that's the case in this situation here personally. I get that other people would think that, and they're entitled to those opinions, and they're entitled to call me wrong for that. But her continuing to cheat for so long is doing her no favors, and once she gets to university, is she just gonna continue to try and find other ways to cheat? Is she not just gonna step up to the plate and learn and retain information like she's supposed to do to get the marks she wants? This feels like a completely her problem, and this is her fault. So for that reason, I'm going not the a-hole. Now in the comments, No Jellyfish 1208 says, everyone sucks here, but her more than you. Cheating is wrong, and you shouldn't have helped her earlier. I get that everyone sucks here, but I think OP is a justified a-hole. The correct judgment is not the a-hole. OP isn't the a-hole for giving the wrong answers. That's honestly what she should have done from the beginning. OP's right. She's going to take someone's spot at their dream college on false pretenses, and it's because OP helped her for so long. That's what makes OP an a-hole. Giving her the wrong answers is absolutely an asshole move. OP knew she was likely to use them. She should have simply refused to help and let the friend stand on her own 2 feet on whether she knew the material or not. Chances are she has terrible self-esteem at this stage, and any doubts she had about the answers OP provided, she probably thought she'd misunderstood the material. OK Mode 2038 says, everyone sucks here. She sucks for cheating, and you suck for enabling her, and then purposefully giving her the wrong answers. Sweetie, she's not your friend. The fact that she couldn't accept the bill and continued to badger shows this. She's using you to continue getting decent grades. This is a toxic relationship. Rather than telling her no and even engaging with her on the matter, cut ties. Do not respond. Block her number if needed, but there's nothing good here, and you've both acted poorly. And Analyst 19 says, not the a-hole. Universities and high schools have honor codes, and providing answers, even deliberately false answers, will result in severe consequences for all parties. If Lucy asks you to help her cheat in the future, say no and report the interaction to your teacher. And OP replies, oh, if I did that last thing, i.e. telling the teacher, I would be destroyed lol, so I can't do that. But I will say no. Thanks for the comment. And Welding Guy replies, to be honest, I think you really aren't taking this very seriously. You came here with a guilty conscience, mainly because what you did was beyond being an a-hole. All these years you ruined this poor girl's life by helping her cheat, instead of putting your foot down and following through on no. You keep saying that she would never let the secrets out, and you plan on letting the secrets out to counteract just in case, but that might as well have its own set of consequences. You really haven't thought through this, as once the secrets of you helping her cheat get out, you may end up endangering your future in a university. And Team Samson replies to that, why did this comment get upvotes? Ruined her life by letting her cheat? They didn't ruin her life. Lucy ruined her own life. OP didn't force her to cheat. He didn't even offer the answers. She begged for them. And OP says, yeah, you're right. Never doing anything like this ever again. The secret is just embarrassing though, not like illegal. I'm planning on apologizing since I'm an asshole as well, and maybe try and get her to let me help her study. I'm not worried about people finding out though. My school only suspends the one asking for answers. Even in the rare chance that she tries to report me, I can just say that she made up a fake story because I refused to give her the answers, and now she has an F. Our next post is by user OpenHeart826, titled, Am I the asshole for telling my mum she's just as bad as the people who leave fake tips? So this happened yesterday, and my mum is saying I'm an asshole because I didn't mind my own business. I don't think I'm in the wrong, but maybe I am. So yesterday, my mum and I went out to a restaurant to get some dinner. We haven't been out to eat since pre-pandemic, so this was a treat for us. We got there before the dinner rush, so about 10 minutes after we were sat and ordered, tons of people started turning up. One group was a family of 7. Parents, a teen girl, a preteen boy, 2 toddlers, and a baby boy. They'd taken up 2 tables to the left of us and started up instantly with a ruckus. Our waitress was swamped. Her whole section got filled in the span of 5 minutes, so I don't blame her for being stretched thin. But the dad next to us was audibly complaining about the crap-tier service. I heard him say, I know how to get her attention, before we saw him pull out what I thought was a $20 bill. But then I saw the other side of it, and it was white with some text. I instantly knew what it was and was appalled. I watched him fold the 20 in half and tuck it under the ketchup. The waitress saw it too, and brightened, and was extra nice to them. I was disgusted because I was a server for 10 plus years, so I had people pull that on me, and it is devastating to be paid pennies to think, oh, I'm getting a good tip, only to have the rug yanked out from under you with one of those fake money Bible verse pamphlets. I told my mom I was going to tell the waitress, but she said for me to mind my own business. I told her what they were doing was crappy, and despite her hushing, I waved the waitress over when my drink got low and gestured for her to lean in a bit before whispering the 20 the table had out was fake. It was just one of those pamphlets disguised as money. She looked stunned, but thanked me. Afterwards, it was pretty obvious that that table was getting the least amount of attention she could get away with giving them. She didn't ignore them, but they were definitely her absolute last priority. I guess they didn't like that and left ASAP, leaving the fake 20 there. And yeah, I saw her pick it up, check it, and then toss it. I felt really bad for her, as she was clearly busting her ass, so I left her a really good tip, 3 times the amount I usually leave. On the ride home, my mum and I got into an argument. She was mad at me for being meddlesome in things that didn't concern me. But I think I did the right thing. I'd have wanted someone to tell me if I'd been in her shoes. I got mad and snapped that she is just as bad as the dick who thought leaving a Bible verse was an adequate payment. She yelled for me to not raise my voice at her, but I said I wouldn't have if she'd been a decent person. But then my brother agreed with her, so now I'm at a loss. Was I the a-hole for snapping at my mum? Am I the a-hole? I mean, snapping at your mum may be a little bit out of line in that case, but I think you snapped for the right reason in this case. You're standing up for yourself, and you're standing up for this server who's been done so dirty. Seems in this situation, you have empathy, and your mum lacks empathy for this person that was going to be screwed over by this stupid family. I feel like you've done the right thing in this situation. Snapping at her, maybe, but I don't see a problem with that. I'm going to go with not the a-hole. Now in the comments, Muffy Wright says, not the a-hole, and bless you for having that poor woman's back. I've never worked for tips, but I know what it feels like to be promised an award, like a horseback ride for cleaning my room to my mum's satisfaction and to get trash in return. A coin-op horsey machine in front of Kmart. Bait and switch sucks. And OP replies, I'm sorry your horsey dreams were dashed. AmITheA 13 says, quote, she yelled at me to not raise my voice. Oh, the irony. Not the a-hole, you did a good thing. But even if your mother disagrees, why is she meddling in things, as in your actions, that don't concern her? And OP replies, she said it did concern her because she was there with me and was embarrassed. Yeah, but how was she embarrassed? From your description, you were very discreet, unlike the other person. Leaving fake money for someone providing service for you is an embarrassment to society. Not the a-hole. They didn't deserve extra effort from the server in exchange for a lie. I honestly hadn't even heard of this before. It's so trashy. I can't believe there are people who would act this petty and cheap without embarrassment. The main reason I hated the after-church crowds on Sundays when I worked at a tipping establishment was this. It's disgusting, and they genuinely sit there and are smug about telling the truth to someone working on a Sunday. How could they? No use pointing out they're using that labor on a Sunday. And Pamphlet Hamlet 21 says, as a former server and just a decent human, thank you. You did the right thing. Not the a-hole at all. The world needs people like you. Not meddlesome, but doing the right thing. They deserved it for having that kind of audacity. And OP replies, if the guy was going to spend money on printing off those stupid pamphlets, then why not just not do that, and instead use the money to tip his waitstaff? Also, it's possible to do both if that's what you feel like. Not saying anyone should because not everyone is Christian, but if they wanted so badly to give out Bible verses, they could leave the paper and leave money. Yes. What's wrong with a proper tip and an honest pamphlet that says, hey, in case you're interested in trying out our community, services are at these times. Everyone's welcome, and also there's a coffee morning on X date, a music concert on Y, and a summer fete next month. No? How about just no? Look, I'm all for friendly religious discussion, but my mum worked retail and had people preach at her all the time. One guy saw her pentagram necklace slip out of her shirt and proceeded to yell at her to repent in the name of Jesus Christ in front of a whole line. Our next post is by user Not Really a Double Date, titled, Am I the asshole for telling my friend I don't want to be her bridesmaid anymore? Throwaway. My friend Mary and I have known each other since we were children. We've grown apart over the past few years, but she still considers me important enough to make me a bridesmaid. Her wedding is set to be in 3 weeks. One reason why I sort of distanced myself from her was because of her treatment of my relationship. My boyfriend Jack and I have been together for 3.5 years. He's a wonderful person, and there is no doubt in my mind that this is the man I want to marry. But Mary is under the impression that Jack is too good for me. Jack comes from a very wealthy background. His parents are certainly very wealthy. He was practically guaranteed a lavish life from the moment that he left the womb. This is in stark contrast to my childhood. I grew up in a low-income neighborhood, often wondering where my next meal was or how I was going to help pay the bills at a young age, etc. I'm grateful and proud for where I am today. Jack is considered to be conventionally attractive, always looking like he should be on some magazine or billboard somewhere. Jack's good looks and background have led Mary to believe that Jack deserves better than me, as according to her, there's no way I could have pulled someone so attractive and rich. It's pretty disheartening to hear those things constantly, and it does kind of take a toll on you, and the friendship. Whenever Jack is around, she's quite polite and respectful, never once making those comments. Eventually, the comments stopped. Mary invited me for lunch with her fiancé and his friend, Gary. From the moment I arrived, Mary and her fiancé were consumed in their own conversation, paying no attention to the both of us. It was fine, as Gary seemed to be a great lad with a great chat. He asked me why I was single, and I told him that I was in a happy, committed relationship. He was very taken aback by my answer. He told me that Mary had set up a blind double date of sorts for the both of us. I was very confused and slightly angry, and I didn't want to be confrontational at lunch, especially in public, so I just carried on with the lunch. Luckily, Gary wasn't upset and ended up making a few jokes about the whole ordeal. I called Mary later in the day and asked her a ton of questions about why she thought that it was okay to do that. At first she tried to deny it, but then she tried to justify it by saying that Gary is a man who is more in my league, and since he was also a groomsman, we needed to get to know each other better. I was shocked by her bluntness, so I just told her that I didn't want to be her bridesmaid anymore. Granted, it was a pretty impulsive decision, but I still stand by it. Mary didn't take it well, trying to apologize and saying that it was a mistake. It's been a few days, and her fiancé has been texting me, asking me to suck it up for the wedding. I feel petty and conflicted right now. And edit, Jack knows about the date. I wouldn't keep that from him. I can get why you don't want to be her bridesmaid anymore. Oh my god, that is seriously ludicrous behavior from her. She needs to sit down and reflect on her actions and slap herself in the face for being such an idiot. I would absolutely not be surprised if Jack never wants to talk to her ever again. Who cares if he comes from a very wealthy background? Like, everything she's said about Jack and your relationship, that is grounds for me just being like, we have a history together, but F you. Well, you're not my friend anymore. Get out of my life. You've revealed some true colors you've been hiding under there, and I don't want to see you ever again. How dare you say that about me and my partner? And how dare you set me up on a blind date? This is just too much for me to deal with. I'm gonna go with not the asshole for this one. Now in the comments, a Wickfield says, "You are so absolutely not the asshole, and you should have dumped this friend the minute she told you Jack was too good for you. Don't let her change your mind." This, not the a-hole. She sounds kind of jealous, to be honest, but this conniving behavior is insane. Be sure to block any more flying monkeys coming your way about, "Just suck it up for the wedding," that's what she said. And OP replies, "The phrase flying monkeys gave me a small laugh. Thank you." And Advices on the House replies, "This girl is not your friend. She's jealous your partner is good looking and well off. I would not only not be her bridesmaid, but I also wouldn't attend the wedding. She has no respect for your relationship, and I would simply tell her fiancé that you stand by your decision, and he should be questioning whether or not he wants to marry someone that acts that way." Novel Ad 7318 says, "Not the a-hole." What the hell? Is she jealous or something, because it strongly sounds like it? She not only set you up, she also hurt Gary over this. This is absolutely terrible, and if this is some weird perfect upstaging wedding ploy, she needs to stop now. It is entirely understandable to distance yourself from someone who gaslights and manipulates you like this. She has been actively insulting you. Like, it wasn't because she was worried about you. She thinks you aren't good enough and don't deserve him. This is absolutely disgusting to say to someone that you consider a friend, and it might hurt your relationship if you have this going on. She was willing to lie to one man. What if she takes that further? Run and don't look back. This woman is vile. God, that's so true. Gary was probably looking forward to the date and was starting to like her, and then gets shot down. Not really, but you know what I mean. Does Mary's fiancé not see what a total jerk she is? It's like, hey, let's get your friend's hopes up even though she's in a relationship. Maybe she'll break up with her boyfriend for a guy she's met once. Like, WTF? And our next post is by user Phil and Friends, titled, Am I the asshole for how I responded when my stepdad asked why I didn't bring him a Father's Day gift? Context. My mum remarried when my brother and I were kids. My brother never accepted my mum's marriage, neither had I, but my brother was honest and clear about how much he disliked my stepdad for treating us like second-class citizens, forcing us to stay home and not visit family on every holiday. We had no birthday parties and were forced to work as assistants in his auto shop. My brother was isolated because of his attitude towards our stepdad and was sent to live with my aunt 8 hours away for 2 years. And I remember begging Mum to take me to see him, but said my stepdad is the one with a car and couldn't take me. I kept in contact with my brother after he was banned from the house. I was 14 at the time and couldn't travel to see him. He passed away in a car accident a week before my 15th birthday. I was devastated that I wasn't able to see, hug, and vent to him one last time. My mum got busy with my half-sister, but gradually I was forced to care for her because of my stepdad saying God sent her instead of my deceased brother. I love my sister, but I was a mourning mess still because of my brother and wasn't ready for this. I moved out at 19. My mum helped with money and we maintained a relationship, but I never visit except for my mum's family, my grandparents and aunts and uncle and half-sister. I see my stepdad there occasionally, and I ignore him, but we act civil. We were gathered at my grandpa's house for Father's Day. I bought my grandpa and uncle gifts, and they were happy to receive them. My stepdad spoke up and said that I should have given him a gift as well, since he's a father figure to me, and then asked why I didn't. I laughed and told him not to worry, I'll get him a gift on Narcissist's Day. Most of the family burst into laughter. My stepdad's face turned red, and he was about to blow up after hearing my response. He then excused himself to the bathroom. My mum was very upset with me, but waited till I was alone, and she got mad at me for treating her husband like this, and shames me for basically calling him a narcissist in front of her family. She said she won't let me leave until I've apologized profusely for not getting him a gift, and then doubling down and being spiteful and humiliating him in front of everybody. But I refused to do it and told her off. My aunts were upset too, and thought that it was an inappropriate response from me and ruining Father's Day for my stepdad who's done a lot for me. Was I the asshole for how I responded? I apologize for any errors. I'm a 24-year-old male, by the way, sorry for the confusion. Now in the comments, Ann Standit Boy says, not the a-hole. You are not an a-hole for telling the truth. Ah yes, all those things he did for me, like teasing me like a second-class citizen, cutting me off from my brother so I had no relationship with him before he died, and forcing me to help parent his daughter. You're right, I probably should have been a little harder on him. Them. He fed you, he gave you a roof over your head. Me. Oh, you just mean the things he was legally required to do so as not to go to jail for neglect? Let the government give him a gift for that one. No, don't forget assisting at his shop, which just sounds like a euphemism for child labor. Don't forget sending OP's poor brother away for his attitude and robbing them from a relationship. Poor brother. He died away from family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, etc., and stepdad has the audacity to ask for a gift? No, not the a-hole. And then on top of that, he says that God sent a baby to replace the dead boy. That's just several layers of screwed up. And Cut Unique says, not the a-hole. Karma's a bitch, and he deserved it after how he treated you. Is your bio dad in your life? And if so, do you have a good relationship with him? And OP replies, no. My mum was a single mother before meeting my stepdad. Our biological father wasn't there, and we never had a relationship with him. We grew up very close to my mum's side of the family. I was blessed to have my grandparents and uncle in my life, and they'll always be a big part of my life no matter what happens in the family. Then, as long as you can stay close to them, don't apologize to anyone, dude. Screw any other family that disagrees. And Gloomy Awareness says, not the a-hole. A Father's Day gift is supposed to be for the men who are father figures to you. He, on the other hand, is nothing but an abusive man who assumed that he's your father simply because he married your mother and gained some sort of upper hand in your family. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Friendly reminder that I'm now posting daily on my second channel, Markee 2. If you want to laugh at memes with me, link is down in the description below. On phone, you just click that little arrow underneath the video. I also want to say thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your names are currently floating down the screen here, and I love to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. If you see yourself on screen, I want you to give yourself a big pat on the back for being amazing as always, and thank you for supporting me again. I do hope that you guys have a good day, night, sleep, whatever it is you're up to. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.